Hey there, we're Talia and Ophira Edut, identical twins and astrologers. Welcome to AstroTwins Radio, where we bring the stars down to Earth. Welcome to September. This is your monthly horoscope cheat sheet. Ophi here in New York, back from LA, where I was launching our Astrology Advantage book for the past week and diving back into a front-loaded, top-heavy month here. So Mercury retrograde just ended on August 28th, and we're still feeling the dust settle, the retro shade until September 9th. But the first 3 days of the month were just packed with action. So I decided to let that energy settle down before recording this for you. We had Pluto and Uranus making retrograde moves on the 1st, just straight out of the gate, and then forming this 120-degree angle with each other that hasn't happened in a century. So we are back in the roaring 20s a century later, which I'll get into. Then we had a Virgo new moon on the 2nd. We had Labor Day in the US. Then yesterday was a scattered kind of Mars-Neptune square. And there's details, of course, as always, in your written monthly horoscope on astrostyle.com. But I wanted to let the dust settle and wait for the day that Mars moves into Cancer. Even though it technically doesn't love being in Cancer, because Mars is this go, go, go planet, and Cancer is very emotional and homey. It's kind of the opposite. It's like, should I go out or should I stay home? But I don't know about you. I'm ready for a little cozy time. I feel like I was already cooking up a storm. My daughter, Sibel, started high school. Those of you guys who have been readers of ours for all the years, some of you guys have been with us since before she was even born in 2010. And now she just started high school. I don't know how that happened, but time does fly. And yeah, Mars in Cancer for the next 2 months until November 3rd is giving us a little bit of maybe the peace and reflection that we didn't know we needed. Both Mars and Jupiter's expansion and its supersizes everything. Mars and Jupiter have both been in Gemini throughout the summer. Jupiter at the end of May went in, and then Mars joined in on July 20th. So it's been very active, very social, it's been kind of a fun summer on social media, a lot going on in the news. Gemini is all about information. It's ruled by Mercury, the messenger. So if your feeds have been popping all summer or you've had a million invitations to do things, well, Mars and Jupiter in effect there for sure. Gemini also rules books, and I'm excited to say that I woke up this morning to discover that the Astrology Advantage, our book that just came out a week ago, is a national bestseller, a USA Today national bestseller. That is super exciting news. Sorry to compete with your birthday, Beyonce, but that was the news of the morning for us. And thank you to everybody listening who bought a copy of the book in the past week or over the summer. If you pre-ordered, hopefully you got one of our nice juicy bonuses and maybe even won a reading because you got entered into a contest. So we're going to be picking someone today. Yeah, so thank you for helping to make that happen. This is a really exciting book. It's our first hardcover, our first Audible audiobook. I love how the audiobook actually turned out. So if you want to listen, I never thought I would be a book listener. I was always an avid word reader, but I have to say I now am the person that will buy a Kindle and Audible version of a book. And then if I really like it, I'll end up buying the paperback or hardcover too, and then just pick it up wherever I am. So I actually have been excited to listen to the book and hear how it turned out. That was super fun for us to record. So if you haven't gotten the Astrology Advantage yet, pick it up because it is going to be something that you really can use as a support for yourself throughout this busy, busy fall. Yeah, so grab the Astrology Advantage and let's talk about your monthly horoscope top notes now, which you will need all the tools you can get. So back to Pluto. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. It dipped in and out of Aquarius since March 2023. And for most of 2024, it's been in Aquarius, giving us a glimpse of the age of Aquarius that we're going into for 20 years. On November 19th, Pluto is going to permanently-ish settle into Aquarius until 2044. So we've gotten a sneak peek at the sort of communal, cooperative, collective energy that the next 20 years are going to demand of us as a civilization. But prior to that, we had Pluto in Capricorn, which is the sign of government, hierarchy, corporations, the patriarchy. And Pluto is the sort of the cosmic wrecking ball. It destroys in order to rebuild. So, in 2008, Obama was elected. That was unprecedented. Halfway through, Trump was elected. Now we have a final election, start and end with two pivotal elections and a huge one right in the middle. It's quite something. So from September 1st to November 19th, Pluto is making its very last sweep through Capricorn in our lifetimes, not to return for over 200 years. The last time it was there was during the American Revolution period, the late 1700s, 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, and hasn't been there since the 18th century. That's why this election feels so intense. And, knowing that Pluto is making its final round through the sign of governments and the patriarchy. That's why when people are asking us, like, who's going to win? Well, September and October are very decisive. We have an eclipse on September 17th in Pisces, and then a second one on October 2nd in Libra, which happens to be Kamala Harris's sign. It's a sign of justice as well. So this could impact everything from Donald Trump's hearing to Kamala's campaign strategy to, this is the final Libra eclipse in a series on the Aries-Libra axis that began in July 2023. And the Middle East and all the war, Aries is a sign of war, Libra of justice and peace. And there are a lot of world leaders who are Libras, who are pivotal right now in world events. Netanyahu and Putin are both Libras, and they have an eclipse in their sign. Kamala Harris is a Libra. Some key issues and moments are ahead. But as I tell everybody, it's up to us. We always have free will. We have the ability to impact how the story goes. Make sure you vote. Please register to vote and make sure you do vote, because that is where you get to have a say. Let's talk about this Pluto-Uranus trine that's happening all month long. So for the first time since the early 1920s, the roaring 20s, Pluto, the planet of transformation, is in a harmonious 120-degree trine to Uranus, which is the planet of liberation, revolution, rebellion. It's kind of like the teenager planet, whereas Pluto is, if I can make a sort of sinister metaphor, it's like the teenager Uranus meets the 18-year-old who offers to buy them cigarettes or give them a fake ID or slip them some liquor. So they may be up to no good together, or they may be just up to some serious debauchery. So both of them are retrograde. Now, on a global scale, this could mean that a lot of hidden secrets come out into the open. There could be a lot of reactivity. When Uranus goes retrograde, people get a little bit destabilized, or a lot destabilized. We often have noticed that there are some of the mass shootings have coincided with Uranus going in and out of retrograde. And tragically, we heard of the hostages, the Israeli hostages being killed right as Uranus stationed retrograde. So, and the anger that's erupting around the whole Middle Eastern situation, and the demand to find a way to have a ceasefire that is truly going to triple down with this Uranus Pluto trine. This is the moment of where people are just fed up, have had enough. We're all beyond fed up, but it's a time that could force more action that's needed to actually end this war, this senseless war that's happening there. There's going to be a lot of things pushing buttons, which brings out reactions. And when we react instead of respond, we lose our power and our centeredness. So that's going to be the trick all September, to find a way to respond that isn't passive, but to not have knee-jerk reactions that further the chaos in the world and in our lives. So if you are a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, for you, the Uranus-Pluto trine this month is a great time to revolutionize your money, your daily habits, your career path, the practical parts of life, the financial and day-to-day routines, and just some of your goals. You may look back at how am I really proceeding? Do I have the systems in place set up? So if you're a fire sign, you may have something like that where it feels like the pipe just opens up or the dam opens up and you have kind of a flood that you need to manage. So you need to get some systems in place for that. And if you do, if you don't have those in place yet, it's a great time to do that this fall. If you are an earth sign, that's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, this is a really great time to put yourself out there more, like work on love, passion, becoming more visible, expressing yourself a little more openly and fearlessly, or just wearing your heart on your sleeve. Earth signs sometimes can be a little bit more measured or restrained. So letting loose a little bit more and leading with your heart, showing people what really, what you really feel and believe. Air signs, that would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, you're going to maybe deal with some emotional fluctuations. Uranus and Pluto are in very sensitive, psychic, emotional, spiritual parts of your chart. So for you, you may have some things come up. Who knows, maybe this election season, and I hope it doesn't, but it could open up some family stuff, some old trauma or sensitivities that you didn't know you had, that you didn't know were there. So allowing yourself to tune in. Don't just, air signs sometimes try to be dispassionate and cool and calm and live and let live. You may not be able to do that. You may feel like this is the time that you really need to let people know how you feel and let that sensitive part of you show. Now, if you're a water sign, that would be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. This is a new social time in your life. So you may want to mix things up in your friend group, relationship, community, just trying some new hobbies, some new activities. If any of your relationships have hit a plateau, it's a great time to be more experimental and deal with some of the dynamics that you haven't addressed. Sometimes you may look the other way or enable or just kind of even get a little codependent or a lot. Either way, this is a time when you just want to free yourself from over-functioning. I've got a great book recommendation for you, and no, it's not the Astrology Advantage, but you should definitely put that in your cart. But our friend Terry Cole, whose podcast I was just on, has an amazing book called Too Much coming out in October, and it's about high-functioning codependence, something that especially women today I mean, almost every woman I know can identify with that. It's sort of the hidden face of codependence and how it's reared its head in our world where women are accomplished and achieving and really just kicking ass out there in the world, but we're still taking care of everybody or making sure everyone's okay or doing their growth work for them, which, as you know, you can't really do, but we're trying. So if you're a water sign or any sign, I highly recommend Too Much by Terry Cole as a great fall read. That's how I recommend each of the zodiac signs navigating this month's erratic but transformational Uranus-Pluto trine. Now, the other big transit is Mars moving into Cancer. That's today, September 4th until November 3rd. And that is a new energy. We just had Mars, like I said, in Gemini all summer, which is an air sign, very communicative, very social. Now it's in Cancer, which is more familial, domestic. So if you are a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, this month and next month, that could bring up intense feelings. So while you're setting things up in your day-to-day life with the Uranus-Pluto trine, make sure you make time to process emotions. It could build up faster, turn into anger or frustration. So you're going to want to manage that as well. Earth signs, your social life, that's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Your social life is going to be hyperactive. Mars always accelerates and amplifies everything it touches. So it can become both energizing and stressful wherever Mars is. So your social life is going to be quite active, your close relationships. You may find yourself a little more argumentative with people. And that may clash with here you have this Uranus-Pluto trine bringing out your passions more and having you express yourself more, but you might find yourself arguing more. Now, the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, you will have Mars in money and career and daily routine parts of your chart. So you may be a bit in your feelings or dealing with that, but don't forget that you still have to function in the 3D material world too. And you may feel the pressure of that, the pressure of your day-to-day obligations, competing with the need to take time to deal and heal and feel. So do make sure that you have a good support system in place and that you delegate and ask for the support you need. You'll find that you may need new systems faster than you think. Mars can lay down the pressure for you to, I better hire that babysitter or that assistant, or I better outsource that, or I better budget or, pay that tax bill because I need that out of my space. I need that out of my sphere. You might even realize, I'm letting some parts of my life fall apart a little bit or just be a little messy because I'm not dealing with something inside. It's so there's going to be a symbiosis potentially between those things. So Geminis, Libras, and Aquarius, make sure that you're budgeting time for your feelings that you may often ignore or push aside. Now, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, you may be a little more combative and spicy and feisty with Mars and Cancer. So you're going to have some new friends and a lot of new social activities. You, like the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, you all need to just be a little careful about stirring the pot or choosing where you just, there's a presidential debate happening. Well, you may decide you want to stage your own debate in these fall parties and gatherings and spaces. And Lord knows there are enough topics that could easily turn into fights and debates. So you don't just have to choose your battles. But just choose your audience and your delivery. You want to make an impact and make sure you're heard. You could truly be an inspirational force, getting people to galvanize to vote. Yes, that is the thing I want you to do more than anything if you're listening. So you might be the person that gets people to vote. but you have to respect that the person is going to vote for whoever they want to vote for at the polls. So little controversy going on here. And we do have an eclipse also on September 17th. It's a brand new eclipse series. We've been dealing with this Aries Libra War and Peace series since July 2023. Well, this is a new one. The eclipse series always kind of overlap. We have kind of like the Olympic torch. One is passed from the old to the new. So this Virgo Pisces series is happening again for the first time in 10 years. And, these are the health and wellness, the spiritual versus the scientific, if not versus. We're looking for an integration of the two. So I think that's going to be good for astrology because I think we're going to see a lot more interest in it brewing. But this first eclipse is in Pisces. It's a super moon and a full moon on September 17th in most parts of the world. It's going to stir up the same things as Mars as well, but help us kind of integrate that. For the fire signs, a big feeling moment. For the earth signs, a big social or relationship moment. For the air signs, a big money or career moment. And for the water signs, a big fame or passion or love moment, or perhaps the spotlight comes your way. Those are going to be the bigger overriding themes. There are, of course, lots of nuances and other moments that you can read all about on astrostyle.com in your monthly horoscope. So I hope you go and enjoy that and dive in. And what a fall we have ahead of us. So remember, we're in the roaring 20s again, a century later, with Uranus and Pluto trines. So who knows what kind of prohibition, bathtub, gin, bootleg energy we're going to see going on. Please do your part, keep the peace, and thank you so much for helping to make the Astrology Advantage a USA Today National Bestseller. Woohoo! And we will be announcing some fall programs too to help you tap into the I Am system for personal branding and personal and professional development and success. So if you're not on our mailing list, get on there because we'll be sending out exciting news about that and sharing it here as well very soon. See you on the weekly podcast. Have a great September. Be safe, be well. As always, thanks for listening. You can discover more of your star power at astrocell.com and be sure to follow us on social at AstroTwins. Join us next time for more cosmic fun.